Hello, everybody, beautiful entrepreneurs. I am so excited and I can't believe this is session number 6. This is our last of 6 workshops, and this is our entrepreneurial financial inclusion program that was brought to you with the generous support of Union Bank in partnership with New Economics for Women and USC Dornsiff Department. We're very excited for today. We're going to cover a lot of ground, and we want to remind you that each of the 6 sessions were recorded. Ana Sofia has been graciously putting them up on YouTube until we have an actual webpage, which is being developed, but we hope to be able to upload more resources at that time. And a reminder that I hope you have a notebook, that you have your cell phone. If I have something in a PowerPoint presentation and I'm going too quick, you can take a picture of it. And this way you don't have to write really quick. You just take a picture of the PowerPoint, and we keep that with us. I want to say thank you. I think Flory is here with Union Bank. And we're going to get started with the PowerPoint. Make sure if you have questions or comments to put them on chat. I'll try to pause and come back to you to answer any questions that you may have. With that, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. Again, today is our Business Ready session number 6. I am Sarah Rubalcaba, your facilitator. I'm an entrepreneurial coach, and I have Ana Sofia Garay from our coordinator and our USC students as well. Today's agenda, we're going to go through a brief overview, talk a little bit about the business plan. We're going to talk about credit and loans, business loans mainly, legal structures, and contracts. We're first going to start with an overview. So during the 6 sessions of the Entrepreneurial Financial Inclusion Program, we talked about defining your business idea. What is your business idea? Who is it going to serve? Who is your client? What is unique about your offering? Then we talk about your business model. What type of business model are you going to develop for your business? Business management and operations. We talked about the importance of operations, administration, organization, keeping all of your business documents in one location. We also talked about the importance of managing your time and self-care for the entrepreneur, because you have to take care of the number one, which is you. Lastly, last week we had a wonderful speaker, Yoya, talking about marketing and social media and the importance of having both a marketing plan and a social media strategy as part of your business plan. We talked about some business terms. These business terms, perhaps first time hearing about them. But all of these, you can look them up on YouTube or Google and learn a little bit more about them. We just kind of touched the very, very tip of the iceberg. We talked about a business plan, business model canvas, a capabilities page, a value proposition, your competitive advantage. And we talked about cash flow and doing a cost analysis to make sure that you are making money in your business. The business plan. Now, the business plan is something that is ever evolving. Just like it's a resume. It's a resume, your business plan, as you, for example, you bring on employees or you bring in new products to your business, new offerings. You want to update your business plan, your marketing strategies, and the description of perhaps what each of the employees are going to be, the scope of work each of them are going to be managing. This is a model canvas. It is in Spanish, but the business model canvas we talked about as well. And these are the 9 areas of your business. You all received, and if you haven't received it, please let Anna know. We put together something similar that asks the 9 questions, very similar about the business model canvas. So your business plan. Every business plan is going to be unique, but generally, it's going to be a written document on how you plan to achieve your goals. It's going to include an executive summary with a brief description of your business idea. It's going to have a description of your company. It's going to have information about the founder and your team, basically who is running the show, who is the person behind the company. A description of your product or service, your marketing plan and strategy, a business analysis, financial projections, and a mission and vision. I'm jumping right into credit. This is called credit, loans, and more. I'm sure you probably by now have all heard of a FICO score. A FICO score, just like your resume, always stays with you and hopefully only gets better. A FICO score is a 3-digit number based on the information in your credit reports. It helps lenders determine how likely you are to repay a loan. This in turn affects how much you can borrow, how many months you have to repay, and how much it will cost. In other words, the better your FICO score, the better the interest rate. And this will be considered whether you're buying a car, whether you're obtaining or securing a business loan. And at times, there has been some companies that look at your FICO score because they believe that a strong FICO score may also reflect how responsible of a person you may be, especially if you're managing money. So your FICO score is based on your payment history, whether you pay your credit accounts on time or not. It also is determined by the amounts you owe. The more amount you owe or the more credit, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit because I remember actually applying for a loan. And I was so shocked that I couldn't get the loan. So I talked to the officer, the loan officer, can you explain to me if I'm making this much money, why I couldn't get the loan? I said, well, you have about 10 credit cards open. And even though they're all zeroed out, some of your credit, your ability to spend on each credit card is about 25,000. So that's almost like if you have 10 credit cards, that's almost like, 10 times 25,000. If all of a sudden you went crazy and spent the 25,000 on each of the credit cards, you wouldn't really be able to pay. So I started closing out my credit cards, and I started closing them out. You can't close them all of a sudden because it does affect your FICO score. So I would close one, and I researched which ones were the best. I kept one credit card for my business and one for my general. I always say, always have a business credit card separate from your personal credit card. It's just so much easier during your taxes to do that. So I couldn't believe that because I had so many, I thought it was great that I had all this credit. I just never took the time to close some of these credit cards. And so I closed it, and it was a lot better.
Oh, Sarah,
So-
we have a question.
Sure.
So someone asked, is this a personal loan or a business loan?
For me, I was just getting a regular loan. But your FICO score, it doesn't matter whether it's personal or business. Your FICO score is your FICO score. And so it's always important that you're aware of what your FICO score is. And if somebody runs a credit, you are able to get a free credit report from whichever agency they used. And it's important. I have heard of people that found out that they had a bad credit score because somebody had been using their credit. That happened to my brother many years ago. Somebody was using his Social Security and never paid any of the accounts because it wasn't his social. So it took him years to clear that up. years. Some people have had to get attorneys. So be aware of what's your credit score. I believe you can get one free report a year, or even through there are some banks, like my bank always has my FICO score, but it's a little different it'll vary a little bit depending on what agency. But if you can, and if you've never pulled your credit score or credit report, I would suggest you do, because you don't know how many people have finally looked at their credit once they're applying to get a car or a business loan or something. They're like, wait a minute, these aren't my charges. And then it takes months to take care of that. So your FICO score is a very important number. So keep that in mind. Know what your FICO score is. Pay your bills on time. You know, it shows a lot. And really, the better your FICO score, you can get, that's where you can get where you said, oh, buy this car at 0 down and 1% interest rate. Why? Because if you have a great FICO score, it does pay off in the future. So let's see. The other thing with the FICO score is it depends on the length of credit history. The length of your credit history is the amount of time you have had your oldest credit account. I also recommend that you don't change bank accounts often. They also look at the history of how long you have been with the bank. And I believe for those of us that were here with the banker, it is important to build a relationship with your bank representative so that they know who you are, and whether it's business or personal, that really does make a difference. Finally, it stays with you forever, and it is used to determine interest rates and qualify you for loans. Some employers, investors may also look at your FICO score. So here's an idea of FICO score ranges. The worst is the poor. I was just talking to a friend. He goes, anything over 740 is good. So this is what the interest rate is based on, depending on when your FICO score. So when you look it up, you'll be able to see where you're at. And you'll also be able to maybe talk to your banker or someone about, if you're at fair or good, what can I do to improve my FICO score? That is really, really important, especially if you want to get a loan, you want to buy a house, you want to get a car. It's important that you start learning how to do this. There are some people that have gotten caught up saying, oh, it'll be easier to declare bankruptcy, but bankruptcy, I think, stays on your record. I'm not sure if more than 7 years, and it prevents you from doing a lot of things. So make sure when you're dealing with money that you talk to the right people before making big decisions on that. Any questions? So that's your FICO score. Talk a little bit about business ownership structure. So as you develop your business, you're going to want to have a legal business structure. And the question here is, what will determine your legal structure? And when and how should you decide on the type of legal structure? There's a lot of elements that go into making these decisions. But when you're first starting off, I first started off as a sole proprietorship, and I had a insurance, and it was personal liability, and there was another insurance that I had that it's not popping into my mind, but I think I have it in the presentation here. So these are the types of legal structures for your business. You could be a sole proprietor, a limited liability company, a S-Corp, C-Corp, or some type of partnership. I'm going to just go through the brief, but for example, sole proprietorship is easy to form and gives you complete control of your business. You're automatically considered to be a sole proprietor if you do business activities but don't register as any other kind of business. Sole proprietorships do not produce a separate business entity. This means your business assets and liabilities are not separate from your personal assets and liabilities. You can be held personally liable for the debts and obligations of the business. Sole proprietors are still able to get a trade name. It can also be hard to raise money because you can't sell stock, and banks are hesitant to lend to sole proprietorships. A limited liability company. At some point, I did have a limited liability company. I believe at that point it was $800 a year to keep your limited liability. It lets you take advantage of the benefits of both the corporation and partnership business structures. LLCs protect you from personal liability, in most instances, your personal assets like your vehicle, your house, your savings accounts won't be at risk in case the LLC faces bankruptcy or lawsuits. Your personal assets are protected. Profits and losses can get passed due to your personal income without facing corporate taxes. However, members of an LLC are considered self-employed and must pay self-employment tax contributions toward Medicare and Social Security. LLCs can have a limited life in many states. When a member joins or leaves an LLC, some states may require the LLC to be dissolved and reformed with a new membership, unless there's already an agreement in place within the LLC for buying, selling, and transferring ownership. This is an important paragraph, especially if you are in partnership or have other people in your company. LLCs can be a good choice for medium or higher risk businesses. Owners with significant personal assets, they won't be protected. And owners who want to pay a lower tax rate than they would with a corporation. So the next one is a partnership. Partnerships are the simplest structures for 2 or more people to own a business together. There are two common kinds of partnerships. There's limited partnerships and a limited liability partnership. Limited partnerships have only one general partner with unlimited liability, and all other partners have limited liability. The partners with limited liability also tend to have limited control over the company, which is documented in a partnership agreement. Profits are passed through the personal tax returns, and the general partner, the partner without limited liability, must also pay self-employment taxes. I want to stop here as we're talking about the self-employment taxes. If you stop working, hopefully all of you, if you're working a full-time job and are starting to put your business together, it may take you 2 to 3 years before people start recognizing who you are as a business person in your business. So the side hustle, as a lot of us call it, I have a side hustle aside from my 9 to 5 job. It's important that if you ever leave your 9 to 5 job, that you also keep in mind as an entrepreneur that you do need to, since you're no longer paying Social Security, that you also make sure that you are paying into some form of retirement format, and that you take into account that you're going to have to pay for your own medical insurance. So these little things, when you do your budget, it's important that you add all of this into your budget as you're developing your cost analysis for your business to see if you're ready to embark in it or if you're writing this into your business plan. So that's a very important item to consider. The next partnership is the S-Corp. A corporation, which is sometimes called a C-Corp, is a legal entity that separates from its owners. Corporations can make a profit, be taxed, and can be held legally liable. Corporations offer the strongest protection to its owners from personal liability, but the cost to form a corporation is higher than other structures. And corporations also require more extensive record keeping, operational processes, and reporting. Unlike sole proprietors and partnerships and LLCs, corporations pay income tax on their profits. In some cases, corporate profits are taxed twice. First, when the company makes a profit, and again when the dividends are paid to shareholders on their personal tax returns. I won't get too much into the C-Corp because this is when you're more involved in your business, and hopefully you have a good CPA that can walk you through the appropriate business structure for your business at whatever level you are in your business. Quickly, an S corporation called the S-Corp is a special type of corporation that's designed to avoid double taxation drawbacks of the regular C-Corp. All of this allows profits and some losses to be passed through directly to owners' personal income without ever being subject to corporate taxes. Again, these types of corporations, you may want to discuss them if you have a business attorney and a CPA. We want to make sure that you're in the right place. Also, before I go into contracts and agreements, what I didn't include is there's different types of insurances for a business. And as mentioned earlier, there's errors and omissions. That's one that I had. And I also had personal liability as an insurance. I had it because I was doing business through Metro. I was doing community relations and they required it. So sometimes there are certain projects that you may embark on and they will say, in order for you to be part of this project, we're going to require these types of insurances. Just like for some of us who rent an apartment, some of the companies, the management companies may require you to have renter's insurance. It's the same thing with certain businesses. As a consultant, they will require you to have certain insurances.
Oh, Sarah, I don't think we included it in this, but I don't know if we can also talk a little bit about the fictitious business name or doing business as some people know it more.
Yeah, I'm going to go into it when I go into the SBA website.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay. So contracts and agreements is a written agreement that is enforceable by law. I do not like starting any project until as a matter of fact, I will not start the project until the agreement is signed. And I always ask for a deposit because most of us, when we enter into a project, we start by researching and getting very involved in making sure that we have all our ducks in order. So we want to make sure that the deposit covers at least the pre-work so that if something happens where the project all of a sudden just gets canceled, you got paid. It happened to me, it's happened to other consultants where they're really excited to get going on this project. And guess what? The grant didn't go through, the money didn't go through, and they don't get paid. Make sure that you're I don't care if it's your best friend, an agreement is very important. We want to agree on the scope of work, described in detail, the deliverables that you promise the client and by when. And it's important that on the scope of work, it could be a simple one-page agreement. I also put client scope of work, or what will the client provide me? The client is going to provide me X, Y, and Z in order for me to deliver the following scope of work. So this way, everybody is clear on who is bringing what to the table. Also, it is where you put your compensation and expense schedule. How are you going to get paid? How much are you going to get paid? The next one is, and they'll probably ask you for a W-9, I believe, as a consultant. I should know this because I have one in file right now. And then ownership of intellectual property. If you develop that, who owns it? Do you own it? Or does the person that's hiring you own it? Very important, because if you sign something where the ownership of what you develop belongs to them, then you use it, you can actually get sued for that. So very important clause. The next one is dispute resolution. And these are just like paragraphs and clauses. I've looked up agreements. I developed my own agreement. Then I ran it through an attorney. He said, oh yeah, it's great. It's great. Made a couple of edits and he charged me for making the edits, but then I reused the same verbiage each time. So it was worth developing a agreement format that I can use each and every time. Confidentiality agreement or paragraph will also be in there. Termination of services. What is the agreement on how services can be terminated? Are you asking for a 30-day notice? Are you saying that it's a 7-day notice? So it's very important that all of these clauses are in your agreement. And again, depending on the type of business that you have or the scope of work, your agreement may be different and unique and might have other things. Some people have very long agreements. Some people have one-page agreements. It's up to you and the type of business that you're doing. Things to consider when choosing a co-founder or partner. Let's say you decide to go into business with a partner. Some I've known people who get into partnerships with relatives, best friends, and they lose their friendship or they no longer talk to their family members because there was never an agreement about being clear about who is covering what in the business. And that's very important. So there's different operational skills. Who's going to do what? You might have different work habits. Do you have a history of working together? If you don't, all of a sudden you enter into a work agreement and you have to have some of these clauses so that it's understood, again, who's doing what, how are people going to get paid? Are you going to get paid even if there's no profit? And when the profit comes in, are you going to take part of the profit and put it back into the business? These are all things that you might want to think about when forming a partnership and making sure that hopefully you have the overall vision and that there is strong honesty and integrity on both of your parts.
Sarah, I think we have a question.
Okay.
Flory.
Do you want to go ahead and Flory? Is that the question?
I think you actually answered it. And my question was because you were going through the agreement and if you have to, it has to be legal or you have to create your own agreement based on different organization that you're offering your service to, but I think you answer it.
Yeah, each one, my contract agreement is now a template and all I do is change things around. And there's been, it's a I think it's like almost 3 pages or 2 pages, but I have turned it depending on the business. Sometimes I've just done a real quick 1-pager and I took the major, most important, like when am I going to get paid and the scope of work. And I'll say like, this agreement is entered into by, let's say, New Economics for Women client and Sara Rubalcaba contractor on this date. And it is agreed upon that Sarah will do the following scope of services, and I bullet pointed, and the dates of the contract will be from January through March, unless it's amended to contain more, then the cost of this contract will also be amended. So you can like change things around. There's so much information on Google now that you can put together something. But this one in particular, when I did put it together, I did pay an attorney to look at it. So I put it together what I thought was important, and then he added more stuff to it. So, there are some investments that you make when you start your business that are really worthwhile. Like if you invest on a website because your website is going to be an important part of your business. So there's certain investments that are that you should budget for, and it'll be tax deductible, of course. So that's another important thing. All right.
Thank you, Sarah. Great information.
And then, so here are some key points to success of doing business. Understand your why and be authentic. Be you. You want to make sure that the uniqueness of you comes across in what you're doing. Have a plan. That's your business plan. And enhance it. Take a look at it. Does it need to be changed? As you evolve in your business plan will also evolve. Understand who your client is. This may also shift. So always ask, is my client still the same client? Do a survey, focus groups. We talked about doing focus groups and asking questions to make sure that you are in line with who your client is. Manage your business financials. This one is so important. Your budgets, your financials. Are you making money? You want to go into business to make money. So this one's important. It took me many, many years to understand finances. And I still, on Mondays, I call it Money Mondays, Wealth Wednesdays, and Financial Fridays. Financial Fridays for me is mostly administrative. I go into QuickBooks, I update my QuickBooks. On Wealth Wednesdays, I go into my 401k and I look at what's going on and I try to learn about stocks and bonds. So I educate myself. So that's Wealth Wednesday. And then Money Monday, it's just open to, am I making money? To look at my bank accounts, look at my credit cards. How am I spending my money? And I never did this before. And now that I've started doing it, I have such more control and love for money. I don't fear it. I look at ways to bring diverse income into my life. And the only way you're going to know how to do that is by understanding your business financials. The next one is to incorporate a marketing plan and a social media plan. Your business will evolve, so innovate, create, and refresh as needed. So what to consider when starting a business? I actually asked some of my entrepreneurial friends on Facebook, and here's what we came up with for you. Your why. Why are you starting this business? Find a need and fill it. Create a business plan. Have the desire and follow through. Dedicate time and effort. When? So for example, all of you have been coming here on Tuesdays from 6 to 7:30. Why not continue on this habit? On Tuesday at 6 o'clock, you're going to sit down. Maybe not for a whole hour and a half, maybe an hour, maybe a half an hour. Maybe you're going to continue to educate yourself on watching a YouTube video on how to do a marketing plan, on how to do a business plan. Just taking one step at a time, it's going to progress. It's going to help you progress in your business and enhance your knowledge and about whatever topic that you don't know about. I will reiterate this and repeat that in the past, I have mentioned that if your business grows, but you have already did your bookkeeping, then you have done some of your business plans. When you hire somebody, you're going to have a better idea if you're getting value for that consultant that is now doing your work, because you're going to be knowledgeable about that particular topic. You're not going to know 100% about it, but as long as you know enough so that you know when you hire somebody, you know what you're looking for in that person. So that's important. We're almost done with the presentation before I go in here. The next one is network. Make sure there are, especially if you're in a certain business, networking can be very important. Find people in the same industry and maybe build your support group with people in the same industry. I was talking to one of the participants who wants to be a coach. Find other coaches, go to coffee, have coffee Wednesdays or Zoom and talk about, challenges that they're having with starting their business. Don't just stop here. Make sure that you continue to network and build that support. I call it also your board of directors. Finding a mentor, that support group is going to be very important, because as a solopreneur, you're going to feel alone. And you don't want that. You want to feel supported, that you can call either somebody that's a potential mentor that has been going through the same challenges. It's really important. It really does lift you as an entrepreneur. And another important one is lose the fear. Jump into it. Lose the fear. Number 9, it may take 2 to 3 years to establish yourself. Be patient and work towards it. Every week, work towards it. You're going to start seeing a change within a couple of months, within a year. Some people get lucky and get a contract right away. 10 years ago, actually 15 years ago, I started my first consultant job by somebody offering me a large contract that I was able to leave my job because they gave me a year contract with them. And shortly after that, a month later, I gained another client. So I was actually earning more as a consultant. So I thought, until I paid taxes. So always keep in mind, you're going to get a check, but you're going to have to pay taxes on it. So don't think, oh my God, I just earned $10,000. Well, guess what? Uncle Sam will take a part of that. And as I mentioned earlier, make sure that you account for all the expenses and also that you stash away money in your savings and stash away money for your retirement, because you don't want to work until you're 70. You want to hopefully retire by 50. And if you're 50 like I am, well, I'm still working through it, but the more savvy and business savvy you are and the more time you dedicate when starting a business, you're going to be better off in the future. Finally, have an action plan and manage your time and money responsibly. There's a lot of resources out there. Ana Sofia will be sending you a link, but I wanted to walk you through, for example, here is the Small Business Administration.
Oh, Sarah, before someone asked a question, so they say, like, what were you classified as? S-Corp or?
Myself?
Yeah.
I am a sole proprietor right now. Like I said, I was an LLC. Things slowed down during COVID. So as my business begins to pick up, I'm considering an LLC. I'm going to be meeting with my CPA and asking them what they think, because they're the ones who are doing my taxes.
And I think Flory has a follow-up.
Yeah, Sarah, so you said that you were a sole prop and then you were a LLC and then changed to sole prop again. So can you consistently change? How does it?
Okay, so when I had the LLC, I actually had a partner. So, and we dissolved the partnership. So then I became a sole proprietor. But you can be one and have an LLC. It's just to protect you. The more assets you have, you want to become an LLC and not just a sole proprietor. Insurances too, like I said, there's different insurances. I also have an umbrella insurance to cover me on top of all my other insurances in case anything happens. So I try to protect myself in different ways. So unfortunately, it's great to make a lot of money, but the more money you make also, you have more to protect and more to manage.
So another question, do you recommend to start as a sole prop? If, like you said, if you don't have you don't have a lot of asset, you're not a homeowner, but yet you still have a regular job and you're trying to start a business on the side. What would you recommend?
Yeah, because when you let me show you. When you go to try to get, for example, a fictitious name, they're going to ask you what type of business. So if you're going to register, so this is the SBA, right? It's the U.S. Small Business Administration. They have workshops. They have all kinds of things. So for example, you're going to register your business, right? You're going to find out if you need to register your business. Are you going to do local, like LA County, Norwalk? Are you going to do it with the state agency? If you're going to be asking, if you're going to be working for state or federal agencies, then you need to register for those. But you can go through the SBA and kind of figure out, like, do I need to apply for licenses and permits? And if I do, what types do I need to see? So like if I was going to do a bar, here's the alcoholic beverage. If I was going to These are mostly for other big companies, but here's information on opening a business account, which we talked about, like what kind of documents do you need? There's also funding programs. Sometimes there's a learning platform here. There's a learning center. So they usually also have free consulting. You know, so here's some courses on how to plan, research plan, and document your ideas, how to turn your business plan into reality, how to master day-to-day operations to run your business. Here is a mentor protege program that they have that you might want to get involved with. Here is expanding by finding new funding, customers, and locations. So I highly recommend that if we're not going to be here with you today, that every Tuesday you take a peek in the Learning Center and see how you can continue to evolve. And I think that would be very important. The other one is New Economics for Women now has a Women's Business Center. So, oh, where'd it go? Okay, so they have different programs. I apologize why it's doing that. So here's if you have a restaurant program, they're helping restaurants stay open. If here's one is Made in LA Fashion Industry Community. We're here to help you find your way to every step from a design to the pattern to the manufacturing. Here's Latina Biz. Here's a community of women entrepreneurs. Looks like that might be a Spanish. Here's loan consulting. If you want to consult on this or general business, let's check out the general business consulting. What is that? So you can probably book. It looks like it's free because there's no pricing on it. This is a nonprofit. So you can kind of connect to a consultant, same thing through the SBA. So I just wanted to take a moment to share those resources. And on behalf of myself, Sarah Rubalcava and Ana Sofia Garay, I want to thank you. This is session number 6. We wanted to give you a quick overview on how to be business ready. You might have a lot of questions, but again, there's a lot of resources out there. Keep asking the questions and finding the right mentors. I want to open it up to see. I'm going to ask just a general question. So Leo, I'm going to ask, at this point in your business, what would you see as some of the challenges and how has this program helped you?
Since I wasn't able to make the last 2 sessions, I think it's one, like just showing up and getting started. So that's where I'm at. I know you just mentioned that it takes like 3 years to get your business like really set up. So this is what, 6 weeks in?
You know, it's different for everybody, but I found in general, like where people really recognize what you're doing, you know, you start getting businesses and people start recognizing, you know, I remember getting a job after being 2 years as a consultant. And in my 3rd year, I got more calls than my 2nd year. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm working full time. I can't take you on as a client. And that's when I realized, and I talked to a couple of other friends, I go, yep, it takes a couple of years. You either hold on and just go for it as a consultant, or you know, you get a full-time job and try to do this. There's some companies that you could do as a side hustle, and unfortunately there's some that you can't because your clients require a lot from you during the day. So any of the other participants that would like to share some of their challenges or open the forum? Any questions that are still unanswered?
Hi, this is Rochelle. You know, I've been telling myself, you know, I don't have time. So thank you for your suggestion about using the Tuesdays from 6 to 7:30. I thought, oh my God, that's so doable. I can do that.
Yeah.
You know, because when I'm done at the end of the day with, you know, my full-time job, I'm mentally exhausted. And so I've been telling myself I don't have time. you know, and on the weekends, I'm doing errands and, you know, that kind of stuff. So I try to do, you know, a little bit, but opening up this Tuesday is going to support me greatly. So I'm super excited about that. So thank you for that idea.
Absolutely. And I think what's important about that is try to get excited. It's like, oh, it's my Tuesday. Like I have what's called Tackle Tuesday. My friend thought I was saying Taco Tuesday. And I said, no, not Taco Tuesday. You can have tacos while you tackle, but Tackle Tuesday and Tackle Thursday is actually, and I do this for fun where I give each day a name. It's Tackle Thursday. It's before the end of the week where I have to tackle something, that nasty phone call that I've been putting aside, that letter that I had to write. And you know what? When you go into something with a positive attitude of outcome, you always want to jump into something. What is going to be my outcome today on Tuesday at 6 o'clock? My outcome today is that I'm going to learn on YouTube how to develop my social media plan or how to do X, Y, and Z, and get excited about it. So that when you sit in front of the computer and you're learning, and maybe you connect with some of these women here today, and you say, let's form a group and let's connect once a month and just kind of check in on each other. So you can do whatever you want as long as it doesn't overwhelm you. But if Tuesday in front of the computer by yourself learning and building your plan is working for you, then I suggest you take Tuesdays, and you're already doing it. Keep on doing it. So other comments from our participants? Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a little breakout room for about 10 minutes. Ana Sofia, if you can start doing the breakout rooms. And during the breakout rooms, we're going to have, this is the last week for you to be able to talk to your mentors, your USC mentors. So if there's any resources, any questions that got left unanswered at this point, we hope to have more workshops coming up next year. So look out for them. Hopefully we'll send you, hopefully want to do a Facebook social media where we can connect. So if you're interested, I want you to do, before we do the breakout, we're going to do a survey. Or should we do it? Let's do it after the breakout room, because the survey is going to help us be able to reach out to you for additional information. So I like the idea of a reunion. That would be great. And so make sure that you fill out the survey. We're going to post the survey after our breakout room so you can complete it, and we're able to get a hold of you. So make sure you write in your right information. So Ana, you let me know when you're ready for the breakout room, and we're just going to have all of the participants just talk about what are their action plans. What's your action plan after this workshop?
I'm ready, by the way, so
Let's
you can
do
let
it.
me know. Okay. Oh, Sarah, you're muted.
No wonder nobody was answering me. I said, I want to ask each of the USC students to share something about their group that can be shared, valuable information for the rest of the participants. Then I want to go around and ask some of the participants. So why don't we start with you, Sharon?
Sorry, I feel like my internet is kind of unstable. Could you please say your question again?
What, during the breakout, was there something that was said by one of the participants that could be valuable to share with the rest of us?
Yeah, let me think. I feel like I really like Celeste. She mentioned that it's really important to spend time to improve their one individual on yourself, to improve yourself and spend time with to balance the break and also work, so that you will not be overwhelmed. Yeah, I really like that.
Great.
And also really like the other participants' statement. I really learned a lot.
Wonderful. Joanna.
One of the participants in my session shared that it's really important to, as you say, take things slow at first and accumulate when you first get your first client, and then really work hard on that, and maybe afterwards they will refer you to someone else, and in that way you can build your network and connection on that. So it's really not to rush, but just focus on what you have right now and be ready for the fast in the future.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it's quality over quantity. I think that's great.
Exactly.
How about Maya?
So thank you. I think it was Urshel that said it, but she was just talking about how she wants to reserve a time every week, whether or not it's Tuesday or Thursday, whichever day, just to continue to learn about being an entrepreneur and being a businesswoman. And I think that's something that you brought up, Sarah. And I think it's something that's just so important. So that was one comment. And then both the participants in my breakout room really wanted to connect again in the future with everyone. So I thought that was really nice.
Great. And hopefully if everybody agrees, we can send the email list to everyone to connect with. So let's see, Flory, was there something from your group that is valuable for the rest of us? You're on mute, you're muted.
That's it. I was in the same group with Mia. They really like the idea that you just mentioned earlier, to find a date, even if it's Tuesday or Thursday, just to dedicate time onto businesses, because a lot of the ladies in here as well, they have a regular job. So they have to find that balance. So they really like to kind of designate a day, or maybe perhaps two, maybe Tuesday, if Tuesday doesn't work, Thursday, so that at least they know they have a specific day that they have to dedicate onto their business.
Thank you. Well, I congratulate each and every one of you, because you are investing in your personal and professional development each time you open a book or you open a YouTube. So Anna, what did you learn from yours that you want to share with the rest of us?
Yes. So I think it was Barbara who said it, that now that she has all this information, she's going to try to be more specific about her client and her target market in order to offer her services, and also get specific with her services, what she's going to offer. So I think that was a great next step for her. And one of the things that I told her that I also want to share with the rest of the participants is that, just focus on getting that one client. And once you get that one client, they can even potentially in the future, if you're doing a good job, they can connect with other clients or potential clients that can help you grow your business.
Great, thank you, Anna. And I know Rochelle said something about classes she's taking with New Economics for Women. And can you share that testimonial again, Rochelle?
Sure. So I've taken several classes with New Economics for Women. They have an amazing selection of classes, and typically the classes aren't full, but if they are, they offer them on a regular basis. So they rotate every week, every month. It's all free. They are an amazing group of women. There's a couple men as well that support. And they're so encouraging. I send the link that Sarah shared. They do have consultation. It's free. So come prepared with all of your questions. They're so patient, and they are. I also attended the mayor did a women's entrepreneurial day on this past Friday, I think it was. So luckily I was off and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, so I logged on and everything. And it was another wealth of resources. So there's so much out there. And I love the fact that it's specifically geared towards women.
That's great. So here's, it is new-wbc.org. So if you can put that, let me see if I can grab it. No, I can't grab it from here, but
I think someone just shared it
I
in the
think I
chat.
can.
okay, great. Is there other participants that would like to share any resource that has been helpful to them?
I mean, just in general, new. So I became a new homeowner through new economics. So I would definitely do the home buyer program that they have as well.
Congratulations.
They walk you through the whole process, and it's definitely like, right, the culture or the purpose of new is to help women build equity and wealth, generational wealth. So I would also check that out.
That's wonderful. I think all of these women were here. We want to be good investors, good business women. We want to eventually be homeowners. So share the resources, continue to invest in yourself. It does pay back. That's one thing that always stays with you is your knowledge and your benefit. I'd like to open it up to see if anybody else has any other comments or anything they'd like to share with the rest of the group.
I just want to say that I sent out the link, that post survey link. So just please be sure to fill it out. I'm also going to be emailing it to everyone. But if you have some time right now, please fill it out. I don't think it should take more than 5 minutes, maybe even less.
Yeah, we're going to post the survey on chat. So we have this session number 6 and financial inclusion program has come to an end. I want to say thank you for honoring me the opportunity to be here with you. And I hope you continue to learn and to expand and to enhance yourself. And hopefully we'll see you soon in another format. When you complete the survey, it'll give us your email. So if we have additional workshops or connectivity, we'll be able to do that. Plus your answers help us with the grants and other information to continue to enhance this program for you and for other women who are expanding and growing. So I thank you. I wish you the best holiday season and go get them. Just go into action, no fear, just do it. So thank you, everybody. If you could please click on the link and go ahead and take the survey. We thank you and appreciate you. Thank you to Flory with Union Bank, to all our USC students, to Ana Sofia Garay for all our coordination, and to all of our participants with sharing your knowledge and engaging with us here has been a growth for all of us. So I appreciate you and appreciate yourself. Give yourself a big hug. You deserve it. Big hug. Big hug. And you know what's really good when you do this? Just, oh, that feels so good. Just get rid of the cooties, just massage. Yes. Love yourself as an entrepreneur. Don't be a solopreneur, be an entrepreneur and grow with it. Love you all. Take care of yourselves. And thank you again for giving us the opportunity to be with you every Tuesday.
Thank you for everything.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.